Good morning and welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. I'm Shonda Knight, and Sheriff, a very interesting topic today. We're talking about how members of the community can be impacted by fraudulent schemes. Specifically, online, scammers are getting more and more sophisticated on how they target individuals.
Shonda, I tell you, there is nothing that thieves and criminals won't do to make a buck. And the internet, all the social media makes that ability that they have expand exponentially. And we've got to make sure that we are ahead of those opportunities ourselves and trying to get in those spaces where those criminals are. And most importantly, to educate our community about what's taking place out there. What are these people doing? I mean, the old cliche, there's a sucker born every day. That's what these people believe in, and they believe they can make a sucker out of all of us. But we've got to stay vigilant and understand what's taking place with all this new technology and this new currency out there. We'll hear more about the currency in just a little bit. And most of our people don't understand it. They have no idea what they're doing. And hopefully we can educate some folks here today. Be honest with you, I know very little about what's going on out there with the cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and we're specifically talking about the cryptocurrency today because it is one of those avenues that scammers are taking. And like you said, many people in the community don't even exactly know how to navigate the system, let alone defend themselves.
Well, that's why we got the United States Secret Service with us here today to talk about this in more detail. They will absolutely educate our community on what's taking place and how we can fortify ourselves against these folks that they're trying to take advantage of us. I'm really interested in this discussion here today.
Absolutely. So what is cryptocurrency and how are scammers using it to target you? Be sure to stick around. But first, let's check in with Jimmy Goodman for our Crime Tip Tuesday.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jimmy Goodman with the Leon County Sheriff's Office, and this is your Crime Tip Tuesday. How to protect your child from cyberbullying. If you discover your child is being bullied, it is important to teach him or her not to react or retaliate. You should block the bully, print out and keep evidence, talk regularly with your child about their online activities and what he or she is involved in. Tell him or her that you are going to review their online activities. Consider installing parental control filtering and understand and know what their passwords are. Always educate your children about the consequences of inappropriate use of his or her electronics. Have a great week. Be safe out there.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Seth Rechter, resident agent in charge of the United States Secret Service in Tallahassee. Seth, we're talking about digital currency investigations today. First, what is cryptocurrency and how do people get involved and get taken advantage of?
Well, sir, Sheriff, that's a multi-tiered question, but let's start with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that resides electronically. So everybody says, okay, well, what is that? Well, it's not backed by a valued asset. What I mean by that is fiat currency or government currency, US dollar, used to be on a gold standard, backed by gold. Cryptocurrencies are unlike anything we've seen before. They are backed on the standard of what you're willing to pay for it.
So there's nothing of value behind the cryptocurrency. So how do you get involved in cryptocurrency? What's the whole idea here? I'm kind of lost.
Well, so as a brief history, the most popular cryptocurrency you've probably heard of is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, right.
So Bitcoin's got a bit of a track record. It's been around since 2010, so it's over 12 years old now. And it's also just really embedded itself in the monetary and fiscal financial ecosystem. And Bitcoin was originally, people don't know this, was a means of exchange. It was what was called a trustless means of exchange. If we don't know each other, we want to do business. This allows us to do it through cryptography and some other features of Bitcoin. Now, however, it's more of a store of value. So the residential investor is going to look at it as an investment or something they're going to hold for a long time. Conversely, fraudster or scammer is going to look at it as a wheelbarrow to get money from point A to point B.
I am completely ignorant of this new currency. So talk about, first of all, how popular is it out there in our society?
It's extremely popular. It has embedded itself in all forms of our financial sector, from residential investors like mom and pops, all the way to institutional investors. For instance, you can buy an exchange traded fund based on cryptocurrency now. Those used to be reserved for stocks and bonds. But with its popularity is, where can you buy it? You can buy it almost everywhere now. You can go online to an exchange like Coinbase. You can get an app like Robinhood or Cash App. You can also get it at your grocery store or the gas station. Many Coinstar kiosks, you've seen those for years, where you cash your coins in. Now have something called CoinMe attached, where you can use those to buy crypto. Additionally, there are things called crypto ATMs that you can find all over Tallahassee and the surrounding area, of which instead of withdrawing money from an ATM, you put money in and you buy crypto into a wallet or an address that's online.
So is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, is that a challenge to the US dollar?
I would say it's a challenge in so much as it is another resting point for people's investment. And so what I'd say with the US dollar, the difference is that the US dollar is centralized, which means we have the Fed and the Treasury, which help control its value, its production, and its authenticity, right? Whether it's counterfeit or not. Cryptocurrencies don't have that, they're decentralized. Another thing with cryptocurrencies that make them what I would say is disadvantaged to the dollar is that they're not insured. If you own cryptocurrency in an account, even at a reputable vendor, there's no FDIC insurance for that. And it's, as far as investment or a means of exchange, is highly volatile. If you and I agree that we're going to sell a car for 1 Bitcoin and you say, all right, I'll buy it for a Bitcoin, but we're going to trade that car in a month, that 1 Bitcoin, that could have been $60,000 and now $20,000. So the dollar is always going to be a dollar. Hence, I don't see it as a serious competitor for monetary reasons, but it could be a serious competitor for investment reasons.
Seth, in about a minute or so, can you explain, does crypto, did it have anything to do with the Chinese? I heard that early on that crypto and Bitcoins were this product that the Chinese were using to deflate our dollar or to create havoc in the United States. Can you speak to that at all?
I can say that the creation of Bitcoin itself was created by a group going under an acronym, and no one has ever discovered who the acronym belonged to. So that's one of the theories. It's like D.B. Cooper. Eventually, maybe we'll find out. But as of now, it's got a life of its own, and I think we're well past whatever the original attenders thought.
Coming up next, an LCSO detective tells us what she's seeing here locally with cryptocurrency scams and how you can avoid being a victim. Stay tuned. We're back with LCSO Financial Crimes Detective Mary Pilkanis. Mary, you've worked cases dealing with cryptocurrency scams. Tell us what you're seeing out there.
So we're seeing a few different ways that people are asking for crypto and then fraudulent crypto from our victims. The first way is the typical text scam where they get a call or an email, click here and send us crypto. And so the people will go to the ATM that Agent Reister mentioned earlier, and then they'll send the people crypto. The other way is that they're having their Coinbase wallets hacked. And the Coinbase wallet is where you keep your cryptocurrency. It's an app on your phone.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah. And so the way they get into your wallet is that they get your personal identification, and then they can just make transfers in and out. The other way that we're seeing is called SIM swapping, and that's where you take the physical SIM card that's in your phone that has all the data on it, and they swap it out to a new phone, and then they make transfers from your account that way.
How pervasive is the cryptocurrency scams here in Tallahassee County?
They are slowly increasing. I think that people here locally are still learning what cryptocurrency is, just like a lot of us are.
Yeah.
So we've had 3 or 4 major cases that our total loss between the 3 cases is about 250 grand. The value of the lost dollar is determined by the value of the crypto at the time of the loss. So if the value of the crypto was 60 grand at the time of the loss, your loss value is 60 grand. Versus if it was like lost today and I would say it was 20 grand, your loss would still be 60 grand.
Okay. So we've only had a few, but how difficult, it seems to me, I mean, all that technology and these things can be happening anywhere in the world. So how difficult is it for you guys to actually do the investigations?
They're not the easiest because outside of the SIM swapping, which is a physical swapping of your SIM card, everything is done over the internet. Thankfully, Coinbase has what's called a blockchain. A blockchain is the address of where your cryptocurrency goes every time it's traded. And so when we get the address for your wallet, which is assigned to you personally, we can follow that money. The problem is that with the IP information, your IP address can show you anywhere in the world. And so if our suspects don't live here in Leon County, we will transfer the case to the appropriate jurisdiction of where it occurred, assuming that it's within the United States.
Now, talk to me. Have we taken any of these cases to the state attorney's office or to a federal level to prosecute? Or
That's a work in progress. So far, we haven't been able to track our suspects down to get that far. The investigations that I'm working are still active, so I can't really talk a whole lot about it, but we're still working on it. So if I'm able to identify a better suspect, then I would like to take it federally, yes.
So are these, my ignorance is showing here now, in terms of the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency, these crimes will be taking place anywhere in the country. So what's our relationship with the Secret Service in terms of how we try to investigate these cases?
So they're a great agency because they're federal, right? So they're across the United States. Here in Leon County, obviously our jurisdiction is only Tallahassee, but they have jurisdiction within the whole United States, and they also have contacts and offices across the world. So if we do have a suspect that's, say, in India or China, and they have an office there, then that gives us access to that office. So,
Mary, talk about, for our audience here in Leon County, what are some of the red flags that our citizens be looking for out there to keep them from being victimized by this emerging criminal enterprise, you might say?
So a lot of the red flags for cryptocurrency scams are the same red flags that we're seeing for other tech scams. So you're looking for poor English, you're looking for unexpected texts or emails saying that your account's been compromised and click here or call this phone number to fix your account. Those are just same red flags, and then they're also tied into romance scams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you're speaking to someone that you've never met on the internet and they're asking you for funds to travel, to come see you, to come be with you, and so they'll ask for crypto that way.
Well, Mary, I know that, how many of our detectives are doing this work, just you, or?
Right now I seem to be getting all the cases, but the other people need to help me out.
Well,
So.
Mary, thank you for all the work you do, and obviously you must do a great job at it, and we're really hopeful that if we need additional staff, that just let me know and we'll try to get them to you.
Okay, we'll talk later.
All right. Coming up next, in our Deputy on Duty, an LCSO correctional officer shares why she loves the job so much. Stay tuned.
On this week's Deputy on Duty, we introduce you to Correctional Officer Abigail Sasser.
I love it here. Being a correctional officer is very rewarding.
Sasser comes from a long line of law enforcement officers. Her grandfather was a lieutenant with the Florida Highway Patrol. Her dad is also a law enforcement special agent with the state of Florida. And while these roles are familiar to her family, it was Sasser's mom who did have some concerns with her chosen career path with the Leon County Detention Facility.
You know, let's talk about Mom first. Mom was scared. Dad knew I had it under control. He wasn't worried. He knew I had it. As far as my mom, though, you know, it's kind of like, oh my goodness. Other than that, though, I mean, a lot of people think what I do is pretty cool.
And that's because working in law enforcement and corrections comes with a lot of misconceptions about being high stress and sometimes dangerous.
I actually worked at Publix for 5 years before this. You know, it's a big change going from like paper and plastic to the nitty-gritty. And
Sasser explains her training was key in helping her in the transition. She graduated from the Pat Thomas Law Enforcement Academy before being hired with LCSO.
Training was exciting. You know, you meet all kinds of new people and you get experiences and just overall like the best. Everything is going to be difficult at some point or another, but it's the push. If you can manage, you know, the tests and firearms training and defensive tactics and everything like that, I honestly enjoyed it.
And Sasser has some great advice for others who are looking for guidance or simply looking to change careers.
I feel like Start Here, Go Anywhere is a great reference for corrections. I honestly didn't really see myself as a correctional officer at first. I wanted to go to the road. But I was told, you know, most officers that go to the road start in corrections. So I feel like this is a great place to learn how to talk to people and manage different situations.
Now she's approaching her 1-year anniversary with LCSO and tells us she is ready to climb that ladder of success.
I would love to, you know, climb rank with LCSO and, you know, be a captain or a sergeant or a lieutenant one day. That'd be really cool. I don't know. I love it here.
And that's why Abigail Sasser is our deputy on duty. If you'd like more information on how to get your career started with LCSO, log on to our website, leoncountyso.com.
Welcome back to Leon County Today. Sheriff, hearing from one of our correctional staff members, you know, we often talk about the job that they do in the care, custody, and control, how significant that role is.
Oh, that's an awesomely important profession and an awfully important job for us in Leon County Sheriff's Office. I mean, our detention staff they're in that facility with the persons who are waiting to go to trial or in some kind of process to either go to the state prison or with us. And they've got to watch out for so many different issues. Persons come there with mental health issues. About 40% of our population are people with mental health problems. Then we got people who are there because they're angry. They don't believe they should be there. They're still waiting to get to court. And they've got to kind of deal with all those various attitudes and anger, because again, it's a detention facility, so you haven't actually been tried in many cases.
Right.
And so it's different being in a prison, where the person's in a prison, they're there, and you know they're there, and you can interact with them in a little different way. So it takes a great deal of courage for our deputies, and one of the things I say often is that their ability to communicate. And I'm happy to say that our people do a tremendously great job of that. And I want to also plug our recruiting. Recently, we've had some hiring challenges, but our recruiting effort with our HR staff, they've done a great job and gotten out there and recruited. And I think we brought in about 56 applicants that are in the process, and hopefully we can get some help there in our detention facility.
Yeah, good help coming on board, definitely important. And then talking about this cryptocurrency, I still don't have my brain completely wrapped around it, but it is good to know that those red flags, to be aware of those as we navigate this new currency.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, Shauna, it has no backing.
Yes.
It's not backed by anything, not backed by a nation, a country, nor gold or anything. So it's really a complex way of doing business, but apparently people are getting rich on it, so it must have some value out there.
That's right.
I just got to learn more about it.
Absolutely. Tread lightly, as we say. Thank you so much, Sheriff, and thank you all for tuning in today. We'll see you back here next week.